This legal document, Blake Lively is suing Wayfarer Studios LLC, Justin Baldoni, and others for damages due to unlawful retaliation after she reported sexual harassment on the set of the film It Ends With Us. Justin Baldoni, who is a co-founder of Wayfarer Studios and played a significant role in the film, was Lively's boss during the project. Despite Baldoni's public image as a male feminist, the lawsuit claims his private behavior was hypocritical, misogynistic, and retaliatory. Plaintiff Blake Lively brings this lawsuit because she was unlawfully retaliated against for coming forward and reporting sexual harassment that occurred against her and others on the set of It Ends With Us, the film. Second, defendant information. Defendant Wayfarer Studios LLC, Wayfarer, is the owner of the film. Defendant Justin Baldoni is the co-chairman and co-founder of Wayfarer, and also served as director, executive producer, and actor in the lead role of Ryle Kincaid in the film. Ms. Lively played the leading role of Lily Bloom in the film. At all times during the production, editing, and promotion of the film, Mr. Baldoni was Ms. Lively's boss. 3. Baldoni's public persona versus private behavior. For years prior to the release of the film, Mr. Baldoni portrayed himself as a leader of the male feminist movement, writing books, hosting podcasts, and holding TED Talks on the topic. In reality, however, Mr. Baldoni's public persona is a stark contrast to his private behavior, which is replete with hypocrisy, misogyny, and retaliation. Fourth, public apology versus reality. In public, Mr. Baldoni gave the appearance of taking responsibility for the fact that he had unconsciously been hurting and silencing the women in his life. Justin Baldoni encouraged men to be man enough to shut the hell up and listen to women. He admitted to wanting to end toxic masculinity by acknowledging his own toxic behavior, stating there is a high probability he made women uncomfortable with chauvinistic or sexist actions. He expressed regret and a desire to improve. During the marketing of the film It Ends With Us, Baldoni reiterated this message on CBS on August 7, 2024, saying he wanted men to stop questioning why women stay in abusive situations and instead take accountability and hold other men accountable. When confronted with his own behavior on set, Baldoni trivialized women's concerns and did not take responsibility for his actions. When faced with negative consequences from his toxic set environment, he used his resources to launch a retaliatory campaign against those who challenged him, involving publicists, crisis managers, digital media strategists, and litigators. This campaign aimed to discredit and harm anyone opposing his brand. This retaliatory campaign created a toxic online environment, resulting in threats against Blake Lively, her family, other cast members, and witnesses. One witness supporting Lively received a threat of sexual assault and murder against their family to coerce them into making a false statement. Footnotes 1. Reference to a TED Talk by Justin Baldoni titled, "Why I'm Done Trying to Be Man Enough" from November 2017. Second, reference to an article in Glamour from December 4, 2017, discussing Baldoni's views on ending toxic masculinity. Third, reference to a CBS News interview with Baldoni about It Ends With Us from August 7, 2024. Paragraph 6. The retaliatory campaign by the defendants has created a dangerous environment of threats, harassment, and intimidation, forcing Ms. Lively to alter her personal and professional life and protect innocent bystanders. The amended complaint omits names of certain witnesses and their text messages to avoid further harm, but these witnesses have allowed Ms. Lively to share the content of their communications in the complaint. They will provide testimony and documents during discovery. Paragraph 7. Ms. Lively filed this lawsuit because she was one of the women Mr. Baldoni admitted to making uncomfortable on the set of the film. She was disturbed by Mr. Baldoni's behavior, which included discussing his pornography addiction, revealing personal sexual details, making derogatory and sexual comments, describing his own genitalia, improvising intimate scenes without prior discussion, adding graphic content including nudity, and casting a friend as her OB/GYN in a sensitive birthing scene. Paragraph 8. Ms. Lively wasn't the only one made uncomfortable by Mr. Baldoni on set. Others felt the same. After learning of the discomfort he caused, Mr. Baldoni did not take accountability or follow his own advice from his TED Talk about feminism and accountability. Instead, he used his influence to silence Ms. Lively and others, portraying her as a bully who made up claims to control his movie. This narrative is false and contradicts Mr. Baldoni's own admissions. Footnote 4, reference to Justin Baldoni's TED Talk titled, Why I'm Done Trying to Be Man Enough, from November 2017. Paragraph 8. On August 30th, 2024, a crisis manager stated that Ms. Lively genuinely believes she is right and that the situation is unjust, which is seen as cynical given Mr. Baldoni's public persona that promotes listening to and believing women. Paragraph 9. The defendant's narrative falls apart because Ms. Lively wasn't alone in her complaints about Mr. Baldoni. Others also raised concerns in 2023, not linked to any power play over the film in 2024. These concerns were documented starting in May 2023, and Mr. Baldoni acknowledged these complaints in writing at the time. He was aware that other women besides Ms. Lively were uncomfortable with his behavior. Paragraph 10. On May 24, 2023, Ms. Lively texted a mutual friend of Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath about an uncomfortable set environment, likening the situation to an HR issue. She described Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath as creeps and expressed her discomfort with their behavior, including unwanted attention and inappropriate comments. Paragraph 11. On May 26, 2023, Ms. Lively reported her concerns about the inappropriate behavior of Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath to Sony employee Ange Giannetti, who was the film's representative for Sony Pictures Entertainment. Paragraph 12. Over the next 3 days in May 2023, another female cast member also reported concerns about Mr. Baldoni's unwelcome behavior to Ms. Giannetti and one of the film's producers, despite her reservations about doing so. Paragraph 12, continued. Despite her reluctance, a female cast member spoke up about her discomfort with Mr. Baldoni's behavior affecting the film's work environment. Ms. Giannetti communicated these concerns to Wayfarer. Paragraph 13. On June 1, 2023, Mr. Baldoni responded in writing to the female cast member, recognizing her concerns and promising adjustments. Paragraph 14. Despite Mr. Baldoni's promise, Wayfarer did not investigate or implement any protective measures. A week later, on June 8, 2023, the same female cast member shared her escalating concerns with Ms. Lively, who admitted difficulty in communicating with Mr. Baldoni. Another female cast member also expressed discomfort. All these events were documented in writing nearly a year before the film's editing started. Paragraph 15. Due to guild strikes, production of the film was halted around June 14, 2023. On October 13, 2023, Ms. Lively texted another cast member about her anxiety over returning to the film, mentioning how the past experiences were still affecting her. This cast member empathized and shared similar feelings. Paragraph 16. Before resuming production post-strikes due to Wayfarer's lack of action on the complaints, Ms. Lively insisted on safety measures from Sony and Wayfarer. In mid-November 2023, agreements were made in writing for a list of protections, Exhibit A, including 17 provisions to stop the inappropriate behavior of Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath, addressing the issues reported earlier. One provision included an all-hands meeting to confirm understanding and implementation of these protections. Paragraph 16, continued. The plan for implementation of certain protections was approved to ensure the physical and emotional safety of Ms. Lively, her employees, and all cast and crew. One of these protections included having an experienced producer, Todd Black, oversee production to ensure safety protocols were followed. Paragraph 17. Importantly, None of these protections were related to Ms. Lively's creative input in the film. They were established well before any discussions about cutting her from the film. At this time, with the film's future uncertain, Ms. Lively requested no creative rights or additional roles beyond her acting and executive producing duties. Her requests were solely for ensuring safety and well-being on set. The notion that she was plotting to take control of the movie in the future is considered absurd and unsupported by evidence. Paragraph 18. After receiving the document with requested protections, Wayfarer, Sony, and production acknowledged Ms. Lively's concerns regarding safety, professionalism, and workplace culture. They agreed that ensuring a safe environment was paramount despite differing viewpoints. They found most of her requests not only reasonable but essential for all involved. Following this, Ms. Giannetti texted Ms. Lively on November 29, 2023, expressing relief that Todd Black was involved and offering further support, acknowledging the challenging situation. Footnote 6. Through It Ends With Us Movie, LLC, Wayfarer confirmed its obligation to adhere to all the protections for return to production in a contractual rider executed on January 19, 2024, attached as Exhibit B. Paragraph 19. On January 4, 2024, before resuming production, an all-hands meeting was held in New York as agreed in November. Attendees included Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, Ms. Giannetti, Ms. Sachs, Todd Black, Ms. Lively, and her husband Ryan Reynolds, who she chose as her representative, a choice allowed under the November agreement due to the meeting's focus on the inappropriate behavior by Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath. Paragraph 20. In the January 4th meeting, discussions focused on the inappropriate behavior experienced by Ms. Lively, her employees, and the cast and crew from Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath. Ms. Lively read out the issues in full, and after discussion, all parties agreed to cease the outlined conduct. List of agreed conduct to cease. 1. No more showing nude videos or images of women, including pornography, to Ms. Lively or her employees. 2nd, no more mention of Mr. Baldoni's or Mr. Heath's pornography addiction or Mr. Baldoni's lack of pornography consumption to Ms. Lively or other crew members. 3rd, no more discussions by Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath about personal experiences with sex, including relating to spouses or others. 4. No more mention of BL or her employees of personal crimes that physical consent was not given in sexual acts, as either the abuser or the abused. 5. No more descriptions of their own genitalia to Ms. Lively or her employees. 6. No more jokes or disparaging comments about missing the HR meeting to Ms. Lively or her employees. 7. No more inquiries by Mr. Baldoni to Ms. Lively about her weight without her knowledge or consent. 8. No more unsolicited sharing of Mr. Baldoni's speaking to BL's dead father. 9. No more proselytizing by Mr. Baldoni to BL to disclose her religious beliefs or about sharing of his. 10. If Ms. Lively or her infant is exposed to COVID again, she must be provided with immediate notice and time off without needing to uncover days later herself. 11th. An intimacy coordinator must be present at all times when Ms. Lively is on set in scenes with Mr. Baldoni. A list of agreed conduct to cease continued. 12. No more personal physical touching or sexual comments by Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath towards Ms. Lively, her employees, or any female cast or crew without express consent. 13. No more improvisation of kissing, intimate touching, or nudity in scenes involving Ms. Lively without an intimacy coordinator. No biting, sucking, or lip touching without consent. All intimate on-camera touch must be in character and personally approved by Mr. Baldoni. 14. No more nudity, sexual activity, or violence with Mr. Baldoni during scenes involving nudity, sexual activity, or violence unless with a monitor. 15. All scenes involving nudity must be classified as active working actors, not friends of the director or producers, and must be pre-approved by the Screen Actors Guild, SAG. 16th, no filming of Ms. Lively's nudity without a fully executed SAG-compliant nudity rider in place. Any breach of SAG requirements won't be used against Ms. Lively legally. 17th, scenes depicting Ms. Lively's character Lily involving nudity or simulated sex must follow a BL-approved script. 18. An intimacy coordinator must be on set for any scenes involving nudity and/or simulated sex to ensure compliance. 19. No monitors allowed on set during closed set scenes except by BL-approved essential crew and personnel. 20. No more entering, attempting to enter, interrupting, pressuring, or asking Ms. Lively to enter her trailer or makeup trailer by Mr. Heath or Mr. Baldoni while she is nude. 21st, no more private hour meetings in Ms. Lively's trailer with Mr. Baldoni without outside monitors present. 22nd, no more pressuring by Mr. Baldoni to stay beyond agreed hours. 23rd, producer Alex Sachs must have standard rights, inclusion, and authority over Ms. Lively's description and representation in the film. 24. Sony must have an active role in overseeing physical production for safety, schedule, logistics, problem-solving, and creative monitoring. 25th, engagement of experienced producers for safety and creative oversight, including examples like Todd Lieberman, Elizabeth Cantillon, and others. 26th, engagement of a BL-approved A-list stunt double for intimate or violent scenes involving Mr. Baldoni. 27. No more adding of sex scenes, oral sex, or on-camera climax outside the scope of the script approved by Ms. Lively. 28th, no more asking or pressuring Ms. Lively to cross physical picket lines. 29th, no more retaliatory or abusive behavior towards Ms. Lively for raising concerns or requesting safeguards. 30. An in-person meeting before production resumes with Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, Ms. Sachs, Sony representatives, the new producer, and Ms. Lively's spouse, Ryan Reynolds, to confirm and agree on the implementation of the above protections for the physical and emotional safety of Ms. Lively, her employees, and all cast and crew. Paragraph 21. At the conclusion of the January 4th meeting, after discussing the detailed concerns raised by Ms. Lively and others, all parties agreed to implement and adhere to the protections for return to production to ensure the film's completion. Paragraph 22. On January 14, 2024, as production resumed, Ms. Lively reassured a female cast member that due to the agreed protections by Wayfarer and Sony, there would be no unwanted physical contact this time. The female cast member expressed gratitude. Ms. Lively stated that Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath would not engage in such behavior, believing the set would be professional and productive. Paragraph 23. In the lead-up to and during the film's release in the summer of 2024, Ms. Lively and other cast members participated in promotional activities as outlined in the marketing plan by Sony. This plan focused on the character Lily's strength and resilience, avoiding the theme of domestic violence, aiming for a hopeful narrative. Mr. Heath praised the marketing strategy in an email to Sony on August 11, 2024, calling it brilliant and fantastic. Paragraph 24. Just before the film's release, Mr. Baldoni deviated from the established marketing plan, changing his approach to publicity. This shift was in response to the public's unawareness of why many cast and crew members had unfollowed him on social media and were not appearing with him publicly. Mr. Baldoni and his team then used domestic violence as a theme to explain these actions. Footnote 7. Mr. Baldoni himself initiated the marketing plan by hosting the first press event in early May 2024, a month before any other cast member did any promotion for the film. Paragraph 25. Other cast members noticed Mr. Baldoni's shift in marketing strategy as it occurred. A female cast member expressed concern to Ms. Lively on August 10, 2024, stating that this change could harm the film's success because it would eventually be revealed that Mr. Baldoni was using commentary on domestic violence to mask his own behavior. Paragraph 26. The public was unaware that Mr. Baldoni's marketing pivot was part of a broader strategy described by him and his team as social manipulation, aimed at damaging Ms. Lively's reputation. This plan was backed by significant resources. Steve Sarowitz, a key figure at Wayfarer, revealed at the film's New York premiere on August 6, 2024, his willingness to spend $100 million to ruin Ms. Lively and her family's lives. Paragraph 27. Mr. Sarowitz reiterated his threat later in August 2024, despite the film's success, stating that if Ms. Lively or Mr. Reynolds ever crossed him, he would retaliate aggressively, comparing his actions to Israel's defense against Hamas, suggesting extreme measures. Paragraph 28. Mr. Sarowitz's financial power and aggressive stance supported this strategy against Ms. Lively. Footnote 8. When questioned about his commitment, Mr. Sarowitz confirmed his intent to spend whatever necessary to defend Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios, referencing an article about his wealth and influence. Footnote 9. Another witness, whose identity is not disclosed in the document, also heard Mr. Sarowitz make similar threats, and this individual has given Ms. Lively permission to share the incident in court. Paragraph 29. On July 31, 2024, following advice from their publicist Jennifer Abel, Wayfarer and Mr. Baldoni hired Melissa Nathan from the agency group PR LLC, TAG, for crisis management. Ms. Nathan proposed a comprehensive strategy that involved creating a website, managing social media, and engaging with audiences to counteract negative publicity. This strategy included discussions on Reddit, managing social media accounts, and starting threads to promote a narrative favorable to Mr. Baldoni. She emphasized the importance of making these actions untraceable and described the plan as involving social media mitigation and proactive fan posting to counter negativity as well as social manipulation. Paragraph 30. Ms. Nathan's plan went beyond typical crisis PR by incorporating astroturfing, defined as creating the illusion of grassroots support through orchestrated online opinions or comments that appear to come from the public but are actually from a company or group. Footnote 10. Ms. Lively obtained these communications through legal means, including a civil subpoena to Jones Works LLC. The communications were redacted to protect privacy, but were used to demonstrate the extent of the manipulation efforts against Ms. Lively. The data was extracted and produced in a format that ensured privacy protection. Footnote 11. Astroturfing is described as creating an artificial appearance of widespread public support, often for political or commercial gain, by funding messages or organizations to seem grassroots while hiding the true financial backers. Paragraph 31. On August 2, 2024, TAG circulated a scenario planning document to Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, and others, outlining strategies to counteract Ms. Lively's potential public grievances. This document, known as the Scenario Planning Document and attached as Exhibit D, proposed misleading counter-narratives like suggesting Ms. Lively had a negative reputation, exploring stories about feminism's weaponization, and falsely blaming her for job losses on the production. Paragraph 32. Initially, Mr. Baldoni was concerned that TAG's strategy was not aggressive enough to protect him, expressing in a message to Mr. Heath and Ms. Abel that he did not feel the same level of protection from the document as he did from discussions with Ms. Nathan. Mr. Heath reassured him by highlighting the efficiency of TAG in managing negative publicity and placing favorable stories. The screenshot included in the document shows this exchange, with Mr. Heath emphasizing the speed and effectiveness of TAG's response strategy. Paragraph 33. Later on the same day, Ms. Abel and Ms. Nathan exchanged text messages where they discussed Mr. Baldoni's desire for Ms. Lively to be buried reputationally. They agreed they would take actions to achieve this, but noted that they couldn't document such intentions in writing due to legal risks. Ms. Nathan suggested they couldn't write down their plan to destroy Ms. Lively, highlighting the sensitivity of the situation if such documents were to be exposed. Here's a summary of their exchange from Ms. Abel to Ms. Nathan. She mentioned that Mr. Baldoni wanted to feel like Ms. Lively could be buried and acknowledged that while they couldn't write down their plan, discussing it was the point. Ms. Nathan to Ms. Abel confirmed that they couldn't send over documents via work email due to potential legal issues, but they would proceed with the plan as discussed. Ms. Nathan to Ms. Abel stated that they couldn't write down their destructive intentions towards Ms. Lively, but affirmed multiple times that they would take action to achieve this. Ms. Abel to Ms. Nathan agreed that they couldn't document their plan, but that was the purpose of their discussions. Paragraph 34. Ms. Nathan reassured Ms. Abel by stating that they had the capability to bury anyone, although she couldn't put that in writing to Mr. Baldoni due to the implications. Paragraph 35. On August 5, 2024, Mr. Baldoni decided on the direction for their social media campaign. He sent Ms. Abel a screenshot of an X post that accused another female celebrity of bullying women, suggesting that this was the kind of narrative they needed to use. The screenshot showed Mr. Baldoni's approval of the approach, commenting, "This is what we would need," and indicating a focus on platforms like Reddit, TikTok, and Instagram for their campaign strategy. Paragraph 36. Ms. Abel confirmed she had discussed the social and digital strategy with Melissa Nathan, focusing on platforms like Reddit, TikTok, and Instagram. She reassured that the goal was to destroy and bury Ms. Lively's reputation, leading Wayfarer and Mr. Baldoni to direct Ms. Nathan's team to engage in a retaliatory social manipulation campaign. Paragraph 37. Over the following weeks and months, under the guidance of Wayfarer and Mr. Baldoni, the team executed a well-funded and coordinated retaliation plan. Paragraph 38. This campaign involved more than just PR efforts. They hired Jed Wallace, a contractor from Texas, who organized a digital army across the U.S. to create and promote content on social media that seemed genuine. This content was then fed to unsuspecting journalists to go viral, influencing public opinion against Ms. Lively. The team used these tactics to damage Ms. Lively's credibility, while enhancing Mr. Baldoni's and suppressing any negative information about him. Paragraph 39. Post the film's release on August 10, 2024, Ms. Nathan's team noted a shift in public sentiment on social media, largely due to Jed Wallace's efforts in changing the narrative against Ms. Lively. Ms. Abel's message highlighted limited traditional media coverage but positive progress in shifting public opinion online.